All right, coach. So if I would have told you that, maybe a quarter of your team was not going to be here, injuries, COVID issues, and you were going to be in the title game again, would you think I was stupid for telling you that, or what would you say if I told you this a few months ago?
Well, um, we've been through a lot this year. It's been a long year, especially back to a more of a normal length season. And we've been through a lot. We've lost some guys. We fought through some adversity. But what I will tell you is this: every year we try to bring in a group of talented guys that we have a vision for, and see fit in what we do well. And this group, it kind of was, we did hang on to a core of our guys, and they fought through and got rolling at the right time to be able to put themselves in this position. So they're very talented guys. They work really hard. But yes, for us to go through what we've gone through this year and to have a chance at another tournament championship, I think I'd take it for what we've been through this year.
Okay, so what does that say about your core? You've got a good core of 4 or 5 that were here last year that are still here that, are normally start. So what's it say about those guys? Because obviously, last year was hard with COVID. This year, everything you've been through, and you guys are back again. What's it say?
They're really good, and they're winners. Is exactly what it says. Coach and I just try to do the best we can, always putting them in a position to be successful with our spacing, with our actions, and giving them a defensive game plan that should put them in a position to be successful. And from there, it's them going out and utilizing what they got. I think really where our struggles came in this year was just, I wouldn't use the word selfishness, but just in terms of like our ball movement wasn't what we wanted it to be. Like it wasn't like we had guys that I needed to shoot, but it was just in terms of like I was kind of consistently taking a tough shot rather than just letting the movement create and let the ball find the guy that's got the best look. And from there, our guys, especially our all conference guys, they're even finding better looks now. So they're scoring even more because their looks are so much more efficient. And I think getting that group to just see that vision for what we had, and kind of making a couple of spacing adjustments too, I think helped us out a lot too. It created some more movement, but really just getting them to kind of see the vision that we had for them. We said it all year. You guys are really talented. When you turn that switch and you want to do it all the time, you have what it takes, So, and it was just trying to get that through and get it through and get it through. And hopefully we've kind of got over that hump where we're going to continue to play kind of the way we've been playing.
So I know your starting five has been really good the last couple of games, but I want to focus just on Bryson for a minute. Bryson, when it comes to tournament time, I think he's made the tournament every year he's been here. But his sophomore year, think about that shot he made from the volleyball line to tie it against Webster. He was clutch there. Last year he was clutch, even in the championship game, made a couple shots down the stretch. Last night, you guys are down at 2 1/2. I think you get down 6 or 7 a couple times. And here comes Bryson, 3, a couple good rebounds. So just talk about what Bryson means to you, and I guess why is he so clutch when it really matters?
The thing about that guy is there's got to be not very many more winners in the history of their time here than Bryson. He got the extra year, but that's 5 consecutive SLIAC tournaments, and big shots in every single one of them. And the biggest thing about him, we go back to talking about the ball movement. That's somebody that really helps. When you have a guy that can shoot it and stretch the defense the way that he can, and the ball moves, that's where he gets better ones. So, he's not a great shot creator or anything like that. But what he does do is when that ball moves, he can really stretch the defense and help you out there. And the ball's starting to find him, and he's confident. When you've hit the amount of threes that he's hit in his time here, that really helps. But, what he is he's a guy that you look at a stat sheet and it's like, oh, he had like 6, 5, 4, 4 blocks, 3 steals. Like he just impacts the game. We've gotten our fair share of ups and downs this year. Somehow the guy's always positive plus minus. I mean, it's just, and he could go. I mean, we had a game this year. We lost by double digits. He was 0 for 9 from 3 or 1 of 8 or something. and he was like plus minus 12. I mean, he's just a guy that when he's on the floor, good things happen. And I think it's just he makes the right play. He doesn't do a whole lot, but he's a winner, and he impacts the game in a lot of ways. And him down the stretch is pretty fun to be a part of, especially when that ball moves a little bit.
So can you just talk about your starting five last two games? I think they've been in double digits, maybe not last game, but last two games, double digits. Just talk about how they've been gelling together.
Yeah, I just think the biggest thing, like I said, is just the ball movement. I mean, you look last night, JB struggled, not necessarily with his performance, but just being on the floor. He was in foul trouble. He never really got a rhythm. But I mean, we had four guys in double digits in the starting lineup. JB plays the whole time. Maybe he would have been too. But I think the biggest thing, like I said, going back, just hammering home the ball movement, but also, they have to pick their poison with these guys because Izzy's about as good of a driver as I've ever seen in this league. He's a great driver. He can go around you. Even when you sink off of him, he finds those little angles, those little windows, those little seams, and he's such a terrific finisher. And just brings so much toughness. And Stovey, I mean, for a point guard to be able to go 8 of 13 in one of the biggest games of the year, it just says so much, and he's not the volume 3-point shooter. But if he can continue to take the good ones when they come and the good step-ins and things like that, they try to sink in on him because he's such a great driver. And from there, he can even knock down the three. So when you got guys like that, and then you got JB, Bryson, and Chano sitting on the outside, who two of those three are even still really good going to the rack, that creates some problems. And
sure.
I think with our movement and then stepping up defensively, those guys, they just had a great defensive effort, all year. But it's starting to even click a little bit more now for those guys. So
what's it mean to you to beat Eureka? Kind of struggled the last couple years against them, and you finally got over the hump last night. Like I said, you were down 2 at half, and you guys just really put it on the last couple minutes of the game.
Yeah. No, it was really cool. I think that was, I think a lot of people kept, have said their piece, but I think the biggest thing was everybody was excited to see that game last year. We weren't able to do it in the tournament or in the end of the regular season. We didn't even get to play them a second time. So it was really fun. The thing about those guys, they're tremendous ball players and extremely well coached. When you got to go and try to deny a player for 40 minutes and they still have a double-double, they're pretty damn good.
Right.
And that guy's really good, and their cast is really good, and they can go inside out, and they got electric scores, and they got good length to give you problems, and they got guys that can create their own shot, and they're extremely well coached, and they're the ultimate competitor, just in terms of you're getting their best punches for 40 minutes, and it was exciting. I think when in terms of when you think about our league and who's kind of been toward the top for some time, at this point, it's Blackburn and Eureka that's been there now for a little bit, so two schools that aren't really St. Louis area in terms of the conference, not the Webster and Fontbonne, but two teams that have always been there and kind of been at the top, here lately. That's really special, and it kind of creates its own environment. Both teams got really good players, so that was a lot of fun for us.
What problems does Webster give you guys? I know you guys have played already. Didn't go very well last time, but you play him again tonight. So I guess, are you going to take anything from last game too, or do you just not have enough time?
Yeah, we hung around and watched them last night. We stayed through the whole thing. And we just got done playing them week and a half ago. So it's all still really, really fresh for us. They're grown men. They are grown men. And their effort physically on the glass, their toughness physically and mentally is really good. They got a point guard that can go for them and create. I got another wing scorer that's came into his own in Hawkins as the season's gone by. And you talk about grown men in the paint, and that's what they are. But I will tell you what, we have the ability to stretch them out. We have the ability to make them guard on the perimeter. We have the ability to create some problems for them on the defensive end with our movement and our patience. And defensively, we got to go one shot and out. And I think if we can rebound well, And we can be physical without fouling. That's the biggest thing. We got to be physical without fouling. I think we can put ourselves in a really good position today. They got good players. We got good players. It's a big game. It's going to be an environment. It's going to be who comes out and just executes, those possessions and in the most possessions today and takes the better shots and really ultimately wants it more. So.
Awesome, Coach. Well, congratulations on everything and good luck. Have a chance to go back-to-back SLIAC champion. So good luck with everything tonight.
Thank you very much. I appreciate you.